Welcome back to the Ohio Bobcats Coaches Show with Jeff Boals. I'm Justin Holbrook. Good to have you back, Coach.
Good to be here.
So last week we talked about progress being made on defense, but then Kent State scores 87. They made a season-high 17 threes. What can be done when they're shooting better than 50% from the field and they make that many threes?
Yeah, looking back on it, you could always second guess, and 20/20 hindsight's always the clearest. And I think the biggest thing for us is our defensive intensity wasn't there. The ball pressure wasn't there. We allowed them to get open looks, and when you get open looks, Division I basketball, you're going to knock them down. They got confidence, and obviously 17 threes is a lot.
When a team's shooting that well, sometimes you just got to give them credit. They're shooting 17 threes. That's kind of unheard of. The next game they go and make 7, right? But you guys turn the ball over 18 times. That's something that you can control. Did you expect that to still maybe be a problem this late in the season?
No, I think some of it was us, some of it was them.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, 20/20 hindsight, like you said, is always the clearest. Probably should have changed our defense a little bit, went to a zone just to try to break their rhythm and disrupt them. But the turnovers were a problem. They're a team that thrives off of turning those bad passes into easy points. And the stretch that really hurt us, was like about the 12.5-minute mark to the 10-minute mark, right in there, where it was 54-50, and then we went turnover, missed layup, turnover, and then it went to 64-50, and that was pretty much the game. 1
month left in the regular season. Are you starting to see a little bit of wear and tear on the guys, trying to get to that MAC tournament, make that last push, but, also knowing that the regular season still has a little bit left?
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing for us is we're getting better.
Yeah.
And this is the time you want to get better. We've won 3 out of 4, and these are the dog days for everyone in college basketball. Everyone's banged, bumped, bruised, and you got to be smart about your recovery, how much you practice, the intensity of practice, and trying to build that momentum right into March Madness. Going
back to that Kent State game, you guys had 4 starters in double figures. The same thing happened against Central Michigan, but on the bench, it was a total of 7 bench points. How can you get the most productivity out of guys that only get a few minutes to play in games?
Yeah, it's tough. Mentally you got to be ready to go. You have no idea when your opportunity is going to be there. Mm-hmm. And I thought we got really good looks in both games. From our bench, we just didn't make them. And those guys are going to get more opportunities. So the biggest thing is be prepared for it. You never know when your opportunity is going to be there.
As a guy that's coming off the bench, you did that in your career before too. How can you maybe stay mentally ready, but also not knock yourself down when shots aren't falling too? Because it's hard only getting to play a few minutes.
It's tough. And as a coach and as a player,
yeah.
A lot of times you think you have a shorter leash and you don't want to mess up. Mm-hmm. But I want our guys to play through mistakes, and I'm more disappointed if they're not ready to shoot the next shot or the next shot as opposed to thinking about missing the previous one.
All right, coming off a big win against Central Michigan last night, we talked about Kent State knocking down threes. You guys had a pretty good night too. You hit 13, 7 from Jordan Dardis. What was working from distance?
Yeah, Jordan, when he makes his threes, we're really good. We win those games, and when he struggles, we struggle. So it was great seeing him knock his first couple in, because the confidence factor is huge. And we got open. We made some adjustments at halftime. First half we weren't getting looks for him. Second half we got some good looks, and he was able to knock them in.
Going to that halftime adjustment, you guys dropped 50 in the second half. It's pretty good in college basketball. What changed? What was said at halftime, and what did you see from the team that changed?
Yeah, we knew going in what they would do, but like I said, it's always tougher to prepare for a team, because that's what they do every day. Eastern Michigan zone is different, and it took us the first 20 minutes to figure out what we needed to do. Second half we came out, we got the ball to the middle more, got the ball into the low post more, and we were able to make good passes out of it and shoot wide open shots and make them.
Are there any subtle changes that you're seeing that maybe a viewer wouldn't see in a game? We watch the games, we see what's happening on the court, but maybe off the court, away from a game environment, what are you seeing that's changing within the team from day one to where we are now?
I think the biggest thing is confidence. Our guys, they've played well the last 2 weeks. Their confidence level's high. They come to practice with great energy every day, and it's a situation now where we have 2 weeks left in the regular season,
right,
almost, and you want to be playing your best basketball, momentum-wise, going into it. And the tournament's going to be the biggest thing.
Going off of that, you guys got a big road game coming up against Bowling Green. Your last road win was January 18th. In the MAC tournament, you're going to have to win road games probably in order to advance to the point that you want to. What is it about road games that has been so tough, and what's it going to take to win some of those now?
I think our next step is winning those games, like going to Kent, going to BG, going to Akron, going to Miami, winning those games. Because if you want to win a championship, you got to win on the road.
Sure.
And coming off the Kent State, they had 8 days off. They come off a 2-game losing streak. They start 3 or 4 seniors. They're a veteran group, And they came out ready to play the intensity. So when you go on the road, you really got to increase your intensity, your energy level. The crowd's into it. It's their basketball, their home floor, their rims. So you got to overcome that.
All right, Coach, one of the things that we talked about last week was defensive effort, how much it's improved from the beginning of the season until now. And so today for plays, we're going to talk about a turnover that led to a basket. So let's start with Kent State. Walk me through what we're seeing right here.
Yeah, a lot of times you want to try to create offense from your defense. So we come up, great ball pressure right there by Jordy. You see Sylvester coming around the post here. Good ball pressure here, which causes a turnover. We come down in our set play. So, we want a lot of movement in our offense. And this is one of our bread and butter plays that we run. Dribble handoff to Jordan here. Jason Preston's going to come all the way around.
So where does this play start for Jason after he hands the ball off?
Yeah, so it starts, handoff, and he's going to come off a stagger screen on the baseline. And you want to try to create separation with this guy right here. So he's going to come all the way around here. We want London to set this screen here. Vest is going to set a back screen just to try to create some separation.
And we see he gets that wide open look right there.
So
we'll play this play again from the top right here. But for Jason, he knows this play is going to start as soon as he hands this ball off. Is this what's
set play here? And the big thing is when he comes off this thing, he's looking to come off. And normally it's going to be a dribble handoff right here. Okay? He makes a great read. London sets a screen, clips his guy, gives him some separation. He gets clipped on the screen. You see JP have a wide open three.
Now let's say that his man is able to fight through that screen somehow. What would be the backup to this play instead of him?
Okay, so on this one right here, okay, London will end up vacating the area.
Okay.
Sylvester comes to the ball screen right here.
Gotcha.
JP's going to come off here. Vest will dive hard. Ben will come up, free throw line extended. So JP will have drive, throw to Vest, or back action that we call it for Ben Vanderplas here.
How big of a play is this when you end of the first half? They're making a lot of shots. You guys are pretty competitive in this game with the first half being this high. You don't really see a whole lot of 40-point first halves. How important is a play like this when you hit a three with about a minute left? Yeah,
I mean, you don't want to trade baskets.
Right.
You want to score, stop, score, and
sure.
we the whole first half we just kept trading baskets. Felt fortunate to be down 4. We had a layup at the very end that we missed. But good execution, good first half on the road.
All right, the second play that we're breaking down against Central Michigan last night. This, to me, I thought was the biggest play in the game. You get a defensive stop, they turn the ball over on the other end. A lot of passing leads to a dunk, and then you have a separation of 6 points instead of a 4-point game with 4 minutes left. So let's start here with this defensive play.
Yeah, I think being down at halftime by 6, we made some adjustments like we talked about. Came out, had a great second half. And this is probably a defining moment in the game. 7 seconds on the shot clock here. Number 20 did a great job all game long. He was hurting us. Sylvester did a phenomenal job of walling up, causing a shot clock violation to give us possession. So now with the 4-minute mark up 4, the last war we call it, you have to execute. Half-court defense, half-court offense. You want to get this stop, score, stop, and we're able to do that here.
Before we get to this play, what's going through your mind as a coach? Because I know sometimes coaches, they care a lot more about defense than they do about offense. And seeing a play like that, what's going through your head?
I was pumped up. I was through a couple fist pumps, and that was a huge play in the game.
Yeah.
And when Sylvester's on the floor, he ended up fouling out after this. We're a much better defensive team, and like I said, number 20 was really hurting us all game long, and that was a big stop right there.
So before we show the audience what this play is looking like, just take me through what can be drawn up and what you have set for this play right here.
Yeah, so a lot of it, in the first half, we were stagnant in our offense. They ran a 3-2 matchup zone, pretty much the whole game. Switched it up every now and then. And what we tried to get our guys to do is throw the ball right here in the middle.
Okay.
So we end up putting JP, our best passer,
right,
in this area here where he flashes up here, and we want to try to get him the basketball.
Okay.
Once the ball goes in, okay, we wanted multiple cutters. Guys coming, JD might pop up, space the floor, and we were able to do that in this play.
We'll go ahead and play that through.
So you see London, great job of back cut right there, huge play.
Now for London, he made the decision not to give the ball to JP. We're going to run that play one more time. For him, why not make this pass, and why was that the right
play? He probably should have, to be honest, but it was a great read. So once he starts dribbling up this way, JP kind of vacates, which opens that whole middle. And in the zone, his responsibility is this top area here, okay? So what we tell Ben Vanderplas to do on the dribble here, back cut here,
Wide open.
Now,
His man leaves.
that guy's got to make a decision. It's 2-on-1. Great pass by Ben Vanderplas. Dunk. Extend the lead to 6.
And you see this happening. What's going through your head with the bench guys coming up and everyone telling Sylvester about that play?
Well, I think it was great momentum because you get a big-time stop, then you get a dunk, crowd gets into the game,
Right.
Guys are energized, make them call a timeout. Now it's like 3:41 to go, you're up 6.
We talked about, you mentioned it, especially for the Kent State game, where you don't want to exchange baskets with the team, and we saw that specifically in this play, where a couple of nice plays there by Sylvester down low. To the other end, you guys have a good play on offense. How big is it when you don't have to worry about, we got to score a 3 because they scored a 3?
Well, I think, in this game, we make game-winning plays.
Yeah.
Those fine line, those 50-50 balls, getting a stop, transition defense, obviously making layups. Those are all game-winning plays. And going into the game, the target mark was 80. When they were 80 and above points, they were undefeated.
Right.
They were 10-0. So defensively, we knew we were going to win the game. And like I said, make some big stops in that last 4-minute war.
So we mentioned it. It's only about a month left in the regular season. Hard to believe that it's coming to a close. One of the things that stands out, especially in the MAC, is that the difference between a 12 seed and a 7 or 8 seed is about 1 game, maybe 2 games. What's it going to take to make that difference of, instead of being an 11 seed, being an 8 or a 7 seed, make it a little bit easier on yourselves?
Yeah, I think with us, the Central Michigan was the first win we've had, against somebody above us.
Yeah.
So that was big,
Yeah.
and you always want to try to control what you can.
Sure.
And I told our guys, don't worry about tiebreakers, don't worry about today, worry about the next game that we play. And you can't look too far ahead. We got 5 games left.
Right.
Everyone plays everybody. We play Akron, Kent, BG, Miami all again. So we kind of control what we do, and that's the mentality we want to have.
What do you want to learn about yourselves with just a little bit of time left in the regular season?
The biggest thing is, can we win on the road? Can we go into, Akron? Can we go into BG? Can we, go to Miami and win those games?
Right.
Because, like you said, at the end of the day, you got to go play them on a neutral court in Cleveland, hopefully,
Sure.
and you got to be able to win those games.
We'll find out in the very near future. For now, we'll sign off. Same time next week with the Ohio Bobcats Coaches Show with Jeff Boals. Take care, guys.